What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Good Guy Experience. Yo, we got our special edition. We got our veteran boys in the house. All right, yo. I got my boy here. All right, Baylo the Great. What's happening, brother?
You know what it is, man. Glad to be here with my guys, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we got my man Willis. What's cracking with you?
Man, what's going on, brother?
All right. Hey, man, it's been a minute, man. Been a minute since we all kind of convened. You look on the channel, the girls got their thing. I'll be on Wednesday with the girls. Tonight is tonight for some testosterone. A lot of estrogen on the channel lately. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We love the estrogen, kind of. All right, most of it. All right,
I love it when it's laying next to me.
Hey, love it. You feel me? All right, so yeah, what's been going on this week, man? What's going on with y'all boys, man? Anything good going on?
Working.
And different working. Okay.
Man, great news, man. I'm getting ready to take another. I was really forced into promotion. We had a meeting earlier this week, and they were like, "Hey, we got a new role coming up. We already got a candidate. We got some applicants, but the candidate we selected is we already made a mind up." And I'm like, man, great, man. I'm thinking like, now who is it? They're like, yeah, Chris is the new candidate for senior director role. I'm like, what? They're like, okay, great, yeah. But no, I'm gonna take up a senior director role at my company, which is gonna be kind of big for me for my career growth. I ain't really working hard, but I'm gonna be there though.
Yeah, a lot of us guys, some of us got them, them checks coming through, and make you walk to the job a little different when that other check coming through. Like
real talk, man. Real talk.
What? Like meeting. What y'all mean? That's what.
Hey, good note. Our other veteran friend is going to be joining here shortly. He just sent me a message. He's getting logged in. So
yeah, we get him, man. All right, hey Willis, what's up with you, man? What's up? What's going on these days?
Man, the last time we talked, bro, I was holding it together, but bro, when was the last time we won?
Ooh, it's been like week before last. I think it's been a week or two.
Well, so backstory, I had literally walked out the building from when I was working at BAE because I failed the full scope poly. So when you do that, you can't work on an FBI contract anymore.
Oh, damn.
So I hadn't worked since September 30th, and I just started this new job at Fort Belvoir December 19th. So yeah, I was holding it together like inside out, like, man, I ain't trying to do nothing, but had to keep it together.
Real talk, I wish I'd have known that in advance. That's and me and you'll talk offline when it comes to that. I do have personnel for which I can reach out to. So,
but that's part of that, man. Like,
reach out to me too, because these kids in these schools are losing their minds.
They really are.
Man, I feel one thing I could do. I learned the last few weeks at school. I could be a bouncer because I break up fights left and right.
Hey, bro, no. I know y'all heard about what happened in Newport News.
Yeah. Man, that was real bona fide crazy, man. And that's, I think that's one of the things that Knox wanted to talk about is that particular incident.
Yeah, I know. Me and the girls had talked about it Wednesday, and it's crazy, man. You can't a 6-year-old. It's wild. That's wild.
He froze up.
I know from my perspective, man. At first I was, I kind of evolved in my thought on schools now. At first, when they said, somebody mentioned like being able to carry at school, I was like, I don't know. But I don't know. The more craziness I see, I'm like, I'm gonna have to put something on the hip out here, man. It's wild.
Well, this is the craziness about that. How far are we willing to go in our society as we currently stand with allowing, the ownership and the availability of firearms? No, I'm a
Mm,
firm component. Like me personally, I'm a Southern boy. I pretty much got every firearm that you can legally own. But I'm trained. I know how to use my
right,
firearm.
right.
Just because you can doesn't mean you shouldn't. The Second Amendment says you can, but everybody shouldn't be allowed to have firearms. If
Yeah,
you're not responsible enough to keep a 6-year old from getting a firearm and then going to school and using that firearm in a deadly manner. I understand that the response to that is to hold the parents accountable, because honestly, there's no way possible you can hold a 6-year-old responsible for using
absolutely.
that firearm. The parents are ultimately responsible. And yes, I understand they're cooperating with the police. Doesn't mean shit to me.
They need to cooperate their ass in jail. Because look,
You
6 year
you
old,
aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is a charge. Also, you can even tramp it all the way up to attempted murder,
yeah,
because that's what it was.
Cause
yeah,
I
what he waited until the end of the school. Like it was like he knew what time he wanted to do it.
he was
I,
calculated,
it was calculated, like in his own mind. I don't know what he thought was going to happen after he shot her, but
bro. When
but
I
this
was
is
6 years old, bro, I was thinking about GI Joes. I was
man.
thinking about
Listen,
water
cartoons,
guns.
water
The
at,
guns.
at the most we were thinking about cops and robbers. No, I'm a little older, so we thought about Batman and Rob. That's the most violent we talked about when it comes to firearms, and we made the pow pow bang bang. That was it. These kids nowadays, and it's not look, the cartoons that we watch were far more violent than what they show on TV because they've been censored now.
Yeah,
But then again, if you take away the cartoons and then you add the movie aspect of it, where the movies are more violent and more graphic than what they were when we was coming up.
yeah.
yeah.
But the bottom line is, I have a 5-year-old in my house. I have a 17-year-old in my house. I have an 18-year-old that's in college. I have a 24-year-old. They all know the responsibility of my firearms. Don't touch them.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
told my
problem,
mom the other day, like my step pops, I always knew where his pistol was. I knew where it was. I looked at it. I
but you
had
better
never
not
touched
touch it.
it. I remember looking. It was in the upper left hand corner of the closet. I remember looking at it like, dang, that joint real. And it got right back down and closed the closet and went back to the front.
You didn't even
But it's
think
like
about touching it.
I
I
ain't
know, I
even
know,
think about it.
I know. I used to go to my grandpa's house. It was rifles all over the place. They, this is South. It's deer hunting.
But
Nobody.
see,
We ain't running around playing with no rifles. We had BB guns,
yeah,
killing all the birds, but nobody thought about shooting no real gun and definitely not shooting no person. That was out of the question.
but
But
see,
so what do you guys think? You mentioned Second Amendment. Like should there be more regulation, less regulation? What y'all since we talking about? What y'all think about that from a veterans perspective? People
My
that
thing,
carried a lot. What do y'all feel about it?
think about this for a second. We're all military. We were trained. We were in the range so many times you can't even count. We know how to shoot. But what I think people fail to realize, like shooting a target and shooting a person is two different things.
Right,
real. I mean, real. That's the
right.
realest thing that anyone can say. Uh,
Like, what is your mental gonna be like
The
when
same.
it's fight or flight and you have a gun? Like, yeah, you have the right to shoot them, but like, what? Like, I don't think nobody realized what they had to do to them.
Yeah,
Like, I just shot a person that's not coming back.
yeah. A human being. It's different, man. People don't realize it. They look at
so
movies. They feel their emotions, but that moment when you shoot a person, bro,
Yeah,
what?
that
so
whole
let,
like
so,
you
so let me
you run
be
up in my house, I'll shoot you. Like, okay, then what?
so let, so
Yeah,
let me so let me be blatantly clear with these individuals that say owning a gun is a right, not a privilege. Uh, my career in the military put me in positions where decision had to be made whether life or death was behind the pull of the 3 pounds of pressure of M4 trigger squeeze. I guess the best without glorifying death. That is when that decision is made. it's not just a death that happens. When you take a person's life, you don't understand a part of you leaves with him. And that part of you never truly get back. A part of your humanity goes along with it. See, the problem we have in America is we do value life. We
Right.
do value how valuable human life is. And the news media has painted a picture of all it is a hot storyline.
Yeah.
Every city you in, no, I don't care what city you in, they start off with either loss of life or political shit. It never fails. Someone died on a freeway accident. They start off with that. A shooting in the neighborhood. They start off with that. Someone got caught up in political mess. They start off with that. They never start off with, hey, let's champion this person's life. Because it doesn't mean anything. All it is a rating marker for them. That's where it begins. And then the second aspect of it is how should we regulate that? Me personally is
Question.
me personally, when they say fully automatic weapon versus semi-automatic weapon, and this is the argument they always bring out about large capacity magazines. I would tell you, full automatic, I don't think nobody should own a full automatic weapon in the civilian market.
Nah, and those are still illegal. Those.
But when it comes down to the semi-automatic weapon, now you gotta realize a semi-automatic shotgun is more deadly than a semi-automatic damn 5.56. Understand, a semi-automatic shotgun, spray and pray. You talking about mass area coverage with a buckshot weapon.
Yeah.
That means you can do more damage with that than you can with a 5.56. A 5.56, unless you hit the target multiple times, and really a 5.56 is a tumble round because once it hits you, it tumbles around.
Bounces around. Yeah.
So when it comes to how should we regulate access to firearms, it really boils down to the background check. And you have to be really fucking thorough with the background. If a motherfucker, I hear veterans talk about what I was diagnosed with PTSD. Now there are levels of PTSD. Not have it. Will, you got it. I get it. We got levels of PTSD. We are functional members of society with PTSD. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you know the ones that shouldn't have a firearm.
Yeah.
You can point them out from a mile away. There are veterans who they're just fucked up in the head. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the reality of it.
10-second conversation, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like five.
A simple conversation. But no, this thing about taking my weapons away, that's the biggest fear for the right wingers is taking my weapons away. Some of them people shouldn't have weapons. Because in fact, they are the single greatest threat to humanity because they are willing to take a life because they fear their own. See, this is what I learned about firearms. Firearms will either turn you into the person you want to be or turn you into the person you don't need to be.
Yeah.
See, the thing about a firearm is this. Ain't nobody without a firearm going to walk up to Knox and say, I want to fight you. You got to be I know Knox. I know how Knox's hands work. I got a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a black belt in Muay Thai. I wouldn't walk up to Knox and want to fight him.
Well, I'm kind of gentle now. Don't scare my the people that know me currently. They think I'm really nice. So
But no, what I'm saying,
what is they mess around and find out?
They don't know.
Your size and stature would is gonna keep me. From a common sense standpoint, not gonna be want to run up and try you too soon. But the average person without a firearm on a weapon is gonna turn walk away. But you give a person a firearm, and that turns them into the person they want to be. That goes for cops. That goes for FBI agents. That goes for military personnel. Some of these dudes were punks. They were punks in high school. They were punks. No, they not to that. I'm not gonna say punk. They were weak. They were weak in high school. They were bullied in high school. Would you give them a firearm and now they put their S on their chest?
Yeah, we see those people, man, and they got like a bunch of guns, and they always posting pictures with guns. And as a person you've been to combat, been in combat zone, if it went down, that joker would throw that shit down and hide behind
Desert
Howard.
a
post.
wall, just
AWOL.
you just know it. So when you see these people, when you've actually been in them sayings, been across that water, you know better, man. And it kind of, I look at these people, I'm like, come on, bro. I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot.
Hey,
You
that
talk about the New England Patriot. That's what they mean.
no, no,
I got to
real
use my
talk.
M4 to fight the government, bro. The government, you are not beating the government with that M4. I'm sorry. I be telling people all the time, you're not taking down no tyrannical government with an M4.
I mean, real talk, man. That whole term "patriot" kind of hits me sideways a lot because I hear that term thrown out lightly a lot. Real like I'm a patriot. Are you really? Are you really a patriot? Do you know what that term means? Because when you say it with a tense of anger in your voice, like you willing to fight something in this nation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, this nation is built on a history of lies and mistruth. That's the problem. You believe in what Grandpappy told you instead of what the truth is.
Oh, Billy, you can't say that. You can't say that. Don't talk about that. People
But
get
no,
mad.
but
Don't
see,
criticize the history.
but see, that's the.
Message.
If you look at DeSantos right now, what is he doing? He literally said the history of Black history doesn't have any value. That's what he
Oh
said.
yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, DeSantis, he said Black history,
That's
you
my
know,
man from New York, right?
study
No,
for
that's little homie down in Florida.
not Santos, DeSantis, the governor of Florida,
Look, okay.
the new hero of the right wingers. You know how they, so yeah, but he said it was worthless, had no value, you know. But
No,
they're crazy down there. They made a whole law saying that you can't hurt white people's feelings. Talking about Black history and the history of
Huh?
America. And
so
so like in schools, like they said, so he said, like, if you teach a history lesson and you talk about slavery in terms of like hurting, it might hurt white kids' feelings, that's against, he made it a law. It's against the law
yeah,
down.
he really did. So I mean,
What?
Will, you the youngest of the group, right?
Yeah.
So where me and Knox is in education, I'm in cybersecurity, so we kind of a loop, with people, Knox, you 44, right?
43.
You be 44 this year, right?
Yeah, I'll be for you. But when we don't rush it though,
This dude right here, but Will, you kind of in you kind of in the environment that that me and Knox, we're not in it right now. So your perspective on how how you are seeing things is going to be viewed a little different from what I see or what Knox sees when it comes to this this overall firearm ownership. Uh, and really, no, to me personally, if you come into my house, at every given turn there could be a firearm, but you'll never see it.
Yeah, But now I will say I do believe in Second Amendment, especially in the current environment. Like when I see all these rednecks with guns, I'm an advocate of responsible people getting taking lessons and having theirs. They got mines. I definitely got they got theirs. I got mines now. And I'm gonna have a couple of them. I have more than one. But running around trying to scare people, intimidate people, thinking you tough because you got guns, I'm not on that. But I do believe
No,
in having a little something to protect yourself.
I really want to hear what Will got to say, man, because he in this. He see it every day.
As far as gun
From,
law,
from
right?
no from no from the 40 and under group.
Okay, well, so what's your Second Amendment opinions?
Actually, I'm along the lines of you guys in the sense that, you had a right. Everybody had the right, but then it's kind of like I think we refuse to think of second or third order effects of having that right. That yeah, I have a right to own this gun, but I don't. What's the consequence of actually using that gun or weapon? Let me say that. I have a right to defend myself, but what's the consequence of that? You know what I mean? So I don't think people act like I said before. I don't think people understand what can happen when you take a life if you're forced to do that. You
Yeah.
know, again, targets don't shoot back.
Right. Right.
You know, targets don't run.
Right.
Um,
You should always own a gun. Like the guns I have, I hope I never have to use them in that capacity. I hope I always use them at the range, target practice. I don't, I have no spirit in me that wants to shoot a person. If
at
I'm
all.
shooting a person, it's because, damn, I have to do this. I see people who kind of have guns who have the itchy finger. Those people bother me. Those people bother me, So, I mean, that's where I'm at. I think everybody should have them if you're responsible and
Yeah,
you protect yourself, protect your family, but you should not want to use it. If you want to use it, you probably shouldn't have it.
literally, like no, chiming in on what Nas said. Responsible personnel uh, who demonstrate that responsibility should have a firearm. I mean, that's just real talk. But no, Knox, you remember Chris? You remember Shaw, right? Chris Shaw.
Uh, Name rings a
E7,
bell.
long tablet E7 type.
Okay, what's up with him?
You know what I'm saying? So me and him had a conversation, man. I said, I mean, I want to go through the Q course, man. That was my thing. I said, I'm gonna go through the Q course, and Chris, man, pulled me to the side. He said, "Are you prepared to take a life?" You know, I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I can do it. I can. I'm prepared." He said, "You talking too fast. Don't talk to me no more."
Right.
And and then about 5 months later, I talked to him again. He said, "You were anxious to take a life.
Yeah.
That's not what we want as a fellow operator.
Yeah.
We want somebody trying literally, uh, in group, we group wasn't door kickers.
Nah,
Group would
the
group
force
would train. We
multipliers.
would train in a group. No, when you in group, you're a trainer. Those operators, the guys, we trainers. We train indigenous forces on how
Yeah.
to kick doors.
Yeah, it's a force multiplier. You
Yeah,
go, you train people on how to, they're not, people don't realize that. They think, you know, I hear people talk all the time when they see a little sticker or something. They say, "Oh man, that was out there killing people." And when I go one, I will support. Okay, okay. I never want to be the person out there running. I will support for group. All right, I'm not a Green Beret, but I know a bunch. But I was not one. But I always explain it's force multiplier. They go out, land somewhere and train indigenous forces on how to, fight and do what they do. You know,
but see, no, not that's what I mean. That's what kind of make our conversation kind of biased because we were in group and we know how the situation should be handled
mm-hmm.
yeah.
rather than one of my best soldiers, one of my best friends. Me and him, we went hunting not too long ago. Uh, and he literally pulled me to the side. We was in a hunting blind. First of all, the first ever hunting blind I've ever been in was heat. Never blew my freaking mind. Anyway, I digress. He pulled me to the side and he's like, "I've never seen nobody operate in combat like you do." And I'm like, "What you mean?" He said, "You see the difference between death and life." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You didn't just blindly pull your trigger." He said, "I watched you acquire a target, pull a trigger, acquire another target, disengage, then acquire another target, pull a trigger." I was like, what are you talking about? He said, "I had to sit back and just watch this." He said, you just wasn't blindly pulling the trigger." Now, I didn't know what mission he was talking about. I didn't even know what date he was talking about. But he replayed it in his mind and replayed it to me, and I'm like, first of all, I have memory lapses, so I don't remember too much shit. But he played it in his mind. I'm like, okay. apparently it happened to him because I don't remember this shit. But in his mind, I showed him what a soldier should be. You can't blindly fire your weapon and not take that in mind to these guys with weapons on the street who spray and pray because they're not acquiring a target.
Nah,
They are
punks, man,
spraying
have
and
no
praying.
idea what they doing. Straight bullets, killing
No,
kids and shit.
9 times out of 10, when they got a fire, what are they doing? They're shooting and they're doing this right here, right? They got their hand up in front of their face and they're pulling their trigger. They're not acquiring a target. They're trying to get away. No, collateral damage is collateral damage.
Yeah. And part
But
of that, they didn't see what they hitting. When we talk about killing a person, and that's why half time you see the this here, because you really don't want to do it. You don't want to see the result of that. You know.
real, I
But,
mean, I think we kind of hit on this one pretty hard.
yeah. So I mean, so with that, I mean, that's kind of our little 2A Second Amendment tirade. You know, we all got opinions about that from our perspective. But there were some things just out in the culture that we saw, some current events we were going to chat on. And one, I think we were in the chat and we were like, what in the world? And so hold on, let me pull